Hi, this is Heidi from Garden Crossings, and as I was walking through the garden center today, we were walking past these Pugster Butterfly Bushes, and I thought, you know what a great opportunity to show you the different colors side by side. So pretty much all of the colors are represented with the exception of the Pugster Blue, and that's because somebody bought the one that was blooming today. But we'll start with Pugster Blue and just show you up on the screen a picture of Pugster Blue. It's a really deep, dark, almost navy blue color bloom. So really the deepest, darkest color in the series, and it also just happens to be like the most popular in the series as well as far as the Pugsters that we sell. Next we have this beautiful Pugster Amethyst Butterfly Bush, and one thing I want to point out is these are very small butterfly bushes. They only get about 2 foot tall and 2 foot wide, so they're not a very big plant, but they've got big, huge flowers on them. And I mean, look, I'm gonna take my hand and I can't even wrap my hand around the bloom. That is just how big that flower is. And then as this continues to put on more flowers, it'll get upwards of about 12 inches long. So very large flowers on a very small plant. The other thing to point out with these butterfly bush is they're very fragrant. So they smell wonderful. They attract the butterflies, the hummingbirds, and they can be used kind of like in a landscape. They can be used in a perennial garden. They just don't take up a lot of space, which I think is wonderful. So Pugster Amethyst. The next one we have here is Pugster Pinker, and these are just starting to bloom. Kind of pull it out there a little bit. So Pugster Pinker, I would say it's almost a, maybe not quite magenta, but almost magenta pink color. And again, this whole series, they're only about 2 foot tall and 2 foot wide. Next we have Pugster White, which as the name implies is a very crisp, clean, white looking flower. And what I do recommend is as these flowers start to age is go ahead and trim them off if they get, as they're a spent bloom. So for example, once this whole flower starts to take on this brown look, go ahead and just give it a trim right about there, and then these flowers will be coming shortly. So very easy to deadhead if deadheading is needed. Personally, I feel like the white maybe needs to be deadheaded the most just because of the color of the flower. But all of them, if you want to, can be deadheaded or just leave the flowers. It's a personal choice. Next, we have Pugster Periwinkle, which is just a little bit different color than Pugster Amethyst. One thing I do notice on Pugster Periwinkle is that you can see a little bit more of that orange coming through in the center of the flower. Again, the nice, really large flowers, about a 12-inch bloom, and you can see how there's the old bloom here, and there's a ton more of younger blooms just coming. So butterfly bushes will bloom throughout the full summer. Usually they'll start here in Michigan around mid to late June, just kind of depending where we're at in the season. And then they'll bloom well into the fall as long as the weather stays warm. If you kind of keep deadheading them to keep the old off, it'll generate new blooms. So really a great long blooming shrub to add into your gardens. So I'm not sure about you, what your favorite one is. You can plant them as a grouping of 3 of the same, plant them as a grouping of 3 different. Like I said, the size all is very similar, so they can be planted in groupings and not kind of have that up-down look. They're all just very uniform. So pick your favorite color, get it planted in your yard, and you'll be enjoying the butterflies and hummingbirds in no time. This is Heidi from Garden Crossings.